All right, welcome to this September 20th edition of the very first inaugural, if you will, podcast from CGO Media. I'm Obsolete, and here we have Ink, and we have three guests with us this evening. We have BestDalhia, Pyro, and SooMin. Why don't you introduce yourselves a little bit, guys?
Hey guys, I'm SooMin.
I'm L for Pyro, team leader of label.
I'm BestDalhia, Alpha Squad leader in Millennium.
And I'm InkofDeath. I run CGO and do all that fun stuff.
Yeah, Ink likes to take credit from me. We all know my voice is the thing that carries Seago. Anyway, zoom in. That was a very brief intro, taking that to the max in terms of say a little bit about yourself. Very minimalist there.
Should I say more? I mean,
No,
let me,
no,
let
no.
me-
You're
Tell us your
famous.
life story. We're interested.
Oh, should I, huh?
Start at conception. Go ahead.
Yeah, I go to high school and I live in this beautiful country.
Called Canada.
Someone stop him, please.
All right. Well, this evening we will be discussing these changes that are going to be occurring just a couple days here. I believe it was 30 hours as hashed over by someone who has a little bit too much time on their hands. Um, we are gonna see some interesting things popping. Finally, I mean, the last update was early mid-August, and I'm waiting for some content here now. Let's see. The first one everybody's looking for. I personally can't wait. First-person spectate. How do you guys think that is gonna start affecting things?
Yeah, I think it's just a nice little feature. It's not really going to affect anything. It's going to be nice to see if someone you think is hacking is actually hacking, but I mean, it's a nice feature they're adding in. But I think they have more important issues to take care of. But it's nice.
Yeah, I think it's a nice feature for sure, but personally, I think it's more of a entertainment uh, change to the game for, viewing and watching the game play out. So,
It's also going to help during tournaments and casting. It's gonna be a lot more entertaining when the commentators can see actually like first person what they're doing and like what their thought process is like instead of third, which is kind of like I don't know, not as personal, I think.
Yeah, it could be a good learning experience to the non-experienced player. Like in more detail, like you can see like where competitive players tend to look and not look, like in the important spots. So you can definitely learn from top players.
Yeah, from a organization or event perspective, it's like what Pyro said. It's going to be a lot easier to catch people who are aimbotting or doing something they shouldn't be doing. And it's also going to help the audience and watching the games and their favorite players aim and everything like that. Definitely a totally different level on watching the game.
I think you're right about that. I think kitties in like Counter-Strike Source when they used to aimbot, or even 1.6 when they used to aimbot, they'd have to get really good at hiding it, or they'd get banned quick. I think kitties here, we all know there's some people out there that probably do. They'll just have to get better at hiding it if they want to stay around, and hopefully it'll get rid of those really low-level accounts that you just see headshotting everyone.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And it is a pretty big update too. If you compare it to like other free-to-play FPS games like Crossfire, it's just another thing it has up on Crossfire. Because Crossfire has first-person spectate, so it's also good for the game as well. But it's long overdue.
Yeah, even if it is slightly buggy, like some people have been speculating that it's buggy in KVA, so it may be buggy here. I think regardless, those points about it being a learning tool, see where the good people are able to aim. Hopefully, we'll see a lot more people learning from that, and hopefully getting into the competitive scene a little more.
Yeah, just going on about how it might be broken or not work as well. In KVA, it's only off by about 2 centimeters or so, and that's most likely due to lag on our end. Plus, our dedicated servers might it may be like a lot better than KVA because I don't know if they're on dedicated servers or not, or they're on peer-to-peer. But with how our netcode is set up, the first-person spectate might be better if you're spectating, because you're not receiving the game live; you're getting it after it's been processed and everything.
Right, right. Let's all cross our fingers and hope for a fairly good experience there. All right, well, let's move on to another one of the things that is going to be updated. Those chat system changes. Personally, I was like, hell yeah, when I read those. What's your guys' take on that?
Yeah, it's definitely nice to have. I mean, you don't need to type in anymore, so you can just easily access those who last talked to you. So
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely annoying when you have to, like, you're in the middle of a game and you have to type out someone's name who with like letters and you don't know if it's an L or an I. You can just double click it and you're good to go.
that's nice. While I think that it was a pain typing in those names, I do also admit that 99% of AVA players could use some typing practice anyway.
Yeah.
I do like my favorite thing here is what I'm hoping. I guess I don't see it explicitly mentioned, but because of this revamp, I'm hoping that when you're in a different channel than somebody that's not on your buddy list, you can still talk to them because that is so rage-inducing to me.
I think you can do that, or you can add them if they're not in the same area as you, or something like that.
I
Not sure
mean,
though.
like, we just go to PvP channel 1 and scroll down to the bottom, try to add somebody before the list
Someone,
updates. Like,
yeah.
you're gonna kill
Yeah.
yourself.
God, that's so annoying. Yeah.
Well, so there's like that's my favorite change, bar none, in this patch. That chat system thing, just because I mean, trying to talk to somebody in game, go right to Xfire right now, but now you might not have to, so that's good.
Yeah, the other big thing is toggling between players, so you don't have to like slash whisper their name or whatever, or slash R different people. So that's kind of nice.
Totally, totally. All right, let's move on to that next one. The capsule changes. I'm
What?
Do we really care about this?
Do it now.
Okay,
I
let's
guess
just go
we
to the
don't.
next one.
Just easier way to color code your spending of your money.
We should spend like 10
Congrats.
minutes talking about this.
Yeah.
Personally, I think color coding is a bad idea. Go ahead, just go.
Well, let's see. Going to the next one. That blocking player. That's kind of nice. It finally will actually work like it was supposed to.
Yeah, there's been a lot of times where like you block someone and they're still spamming the lobby, and it's like, wow. Or like, or people like Pro who just keep on raging when you play them
Oh
in
my
scrims.
god.
So you want to block them in the lobby. So I think in
He-
situations like that, I love this feature.
He lasted about 12 hours in my clan.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, well, I never have to block anyone, but I think for people who are like really popular and get whispered all the time, it's going to be very beneficial, or trolled.
that's gonna be a big list of blocked people there.
Too bad you can't block like a single person more than once and screenshot it, upload it. Man, I really hate this person.
I don't
Alright.
really see. I don't know why they just didn't do that from the first place.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like their block was just in name only. Like, haha, you throw it on there.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff should have been in AVA upon release. and it's kind of sad that it's only getting released now, but at least we're getting it. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely better than nothing, but how much better than nothing? Come on. All right, let's see. This next one, demolition rule changes. How about that time limit?
Um, Pretty awesome. I don't know how many people have wasted that extra minute or 30 seconds of their lives just sitting and waiting around doing absolutely nothing in the round.
Jesus.
What are you talking about, man? I love watching XXBR, XXXXXXBR, like wasting the rest of my demolition round. What are you talking about? That's just my favorite part of my day.
I hate when we play on huge maps and the other team just takes the entire 3 minutes. Now they can only take 2 minutes, which is still pretty bad, but you know it's gonna be less time playing bad maps like Hellhound. It's gonna be a lot more. It's gonna encourage teams to play a lot faster paced games. Maybe accelerate their play. Um, it's just I think it's going to change the way teams think about strategy and speed and timings and all of that.
Yeah, definitely. And something like this, like the round time being decreased, it's like it's a benefit in every regard that you can think of, like from players playing, from a showcasing or streaming perspective. It just makes things more entertaining. Things aren't as boring. Nothing like you just don't have dead time as much. So yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely going to increase the game in the pace that it's being played in, for sure.
Another facet of that we haven't quite talked about yet, that looks like a timer is going to be added for the bomb, so you don't have to listen for the beeps anymore.
yeah.
Wait, how is that going to work?
I don't know if you, but I think it's in CS:GO that they have this, but you see like 40 seconds and it counts down the top underneath the scroll screen.
That's actually
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
I know probably everybody in here has already memorized when
Beeps.
what beep you need to get on that before you're gonna blow up. But for new players, it'll be really nice.
I think that's what what its biggest change will be for is for the new players coming into the game. It won't be such a steep like learning curve. Like, oh, I have this much time left to go to the bomb or not. So I think that is definitely a plus. But I also kind of liked it that you did have to learn the beeps and the sounds. You couldn't just look and say, "Hey, I have 10 seconds left. Hey, it's going to take me 3 seconds to get the bomb to the bomb. I might be able to get the defuse." Before people would just go and try to defuse it. But now we may not see people even attempt to try to go defuse it, and there might be a lot of rounds lost there. So, I don't know.
Well, I guess again the good teams will adapt. The
Yeah.
people who need to learn a lot will have to learn a lot. So you're right, though. It is an interesting development, and it will change up how those 1v1 bomb down situations, they're going to have to play completely differently. All right. Well, that's it's good for that change. I think we all agree there. That is a solid change. Definitely good for the game and for how it's going to be played. Both of those demolition rule changes. I mean, demolition's the competitive game type. Usually, when you would make a change to a competitive game type, there would be outcries from the people who are used to them. But this time everybody's pretty much in agreement. Solid. All right, so let's move on to this next one. That sprint key. Instead of having to finger W, like I'm not going to finish that analogy, but go ahead.
Yeah, I want to start off here with this one because back in like the beta and like the first 4 months of the game, I was raging hardcore on the forums like almost every single day that we needed something like a different bind for the sprint key, and it was just ridiculous that we had to press W twice, and I'm just happy now that we're getting it, but I'm kind of like, why is it only caps lock? Right? Like, I don't quite understand that. I mean, it helps, like, we can, like, remap it to something else with, like, other software. With WW, we couldn't do that with other software. But now we can, but I still don't understand why it's just caps lock and we can't bind it to something else. But it is nice. So
Yeah, I think it's a nice feature. I mean, I think I'm still gonna be using WW though. Like, I don't know.
I think we've just like it's instinct to press WW now. And I think over time some people will do caps lock or whatever, but caps lock is kind of in an awkward position for some people, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they're putting in lots of little additions, like options. Nothing groundbreaking, but it's just nice little fluff that the gamers will appreciate.
Yeah, it's definitely a start, but I think you're right, Ink, that why not just an entire remap feature for your controls? Like what's hard about that? We had that in 2002, 2003.
We have it in the game, we can do it with all the other buttons too. So
Yeah.
Exactly. So why can't like just a sprint button? Like you have the technology, you can do it. All right. Let's see. Ooh, that removal of the certain backpack items pending that grenade slot expansion, the auto 3 grenades.
this has a really big impact on everything. Pyro, I'm gonna have you go first.
Me? Okay. Well, in AVA, if you want to save up for a gun or something, you're gonna have to drop armor, or you have to go eco essentially. You don't have to you have to drop a lot of things because eventually you spend money on rebuying them. And this is gonna help people save up a lot more, and also it's gonna encourage people to use nades more, which is also gonna kind of help maybe the competitive scene. People are going to be knowing nade spots a lot more because hey, it doesn't cost anything to get the nade slot on my backpack. Um, I think I think it's a pretty cool idea. I mean, people can try out new guns faster. Uh, yeah.
SooMin.
Um, I think it's a nice way of EG for just allowing us to save some euros instead of buying those nade slots, especially for players who play in tournaments like the CGO. Most players will spend quite a bit of euros on those grenade slots or the Kevlar or helmet protection stuff. So it's definitely a plus in my view.
And Delay, what do you think?
Well, since they're removing these backpacks and just allowing players to put grenades on all 3 slots just automatically without the backpacks, I think it would be nice if they could just bring back the triple M67s, with 3 M67s. But since they are nerfing it anyways.
Yeah, I think that's the whole nother discussion, the bringing back the 3 nades of one kind. But yeah.
I was actually kind of relieved when they made that change.
Yeah, so was I. But yeah, the more major thing, other than saving euros, which is definitely a huge thing, you're probably going to be able to buy a gun every month now, just because you're saving so much money off of stuff. But the Kevlar defense, both of them are being removed, and both of the helmet protections are being removed, and that's huge for the MK3 and 4, also for the SG556. Not so much for the para, only for the para with the headshot at 18-19 meters. And I think that's it is not like an immediately noticeable change, but you will notice it when you're shooting someone with your MK3, and you're like, oh, that took one more shot, or took one less shot than I thought it would, because in CGO you have people using those Kevlar defenses or the helmet protections, so it's definitely going to, I think it's going to balance the game more, because I really think the Kevlar defenses broke some of the guns, and it made the para as good as it is now, so that's my thoughts on it, balance-wise.
I'll chime in here about that. Right after I mention that those grenades, hopefully we'll see a lot more smoke play
Yeah.
because you never ever see smoke play in pubs. So it's hard to break into certain sites, hard to get a good pub playing like they should. As you know, most competitive players frown on pubbing because it's a completely different scene. And if players can start learning a little bit better of how to play things in a pub, many of them may want to make that transition more so than they do now. I think that's helpful. And one question I have about the Kevlar defenses and the helmet protection is, just as an example, I have somewhat north of 200 days on each of those. And I'm like, am I going to get paid back for them being gone? What's going to happen there? That's a lot. That's like I have 2/3 of a year of these items and they're just going poof. So I gotta say, I'm hoping to get a little bit back for that. Not.
Yeah, that would prove to be annoying for CGO because you'll have some people who don't have it, and then you'll have other people who have it for like 200 days. And there is honestly no way to police that and tell kids that they can't use it. Like I think what they're gonna have is they're just gonna remove it from the shop. I'm not sure if they're gonna remove it entirely because I think you might be able to get it still from capsules. But if they're gonna remove it entirely, then they should remove it from everyone. And sorry, no refunds.
Well, yeah, I would rather them remove it, but I have at the same time I have a butt ton of it, and I bought a butt ton of it. So give me my butt ton of money that I spent back, please.
Yeah, and going back to the thing about money and smokes and grenades, you guys pretty much all said this, but it is going to be a big change with everyone having a grenade in pubs now. Everyone using a grenade in scrims, because I know, like, I'd only use one nade all the time unless it was the tourney. Even in scrims, I just use a flash or M67. I didn't have the money to buy the grenades and the grenade slots, so that's definitely huge. Moving on, I suppose.
Yeah, moving on.
Very
So, yeah,
awkward silence.
sorry, we'll have those 3 grenades. Be able to have a good time with that. Everybody will be throwing them. That's it for the actual changes. Let's take a look at these balance fixes and the bugs that they've fixed. We'll just pop through those here. There was a bug that if you killed yourself in infection, you would not respawn.
Oh, what a bummer.
I'm sure everybody who's listening was just dying for that to get fixed. I know 98.7% of our viewers have a hard-on for infection, but you'll be glad to know it's fixed. Woohoo! All right, and good one here, that hammer blow fix, where you can no longer plant on top of the tank.
I saw people doing this a lot in the beginning of the game. I don't see anyone doing it anymore.
Yeah,
I
I think
kind of
I've only
forgot
seen it
about it.
once.
Yeah. You could plant it on like on the side of the tank. I'm not sure if it's the same thing or if you can still plant it on the side of the tank or they're talking about on top of the tank.
I feel like I remember something like that on another map. I don't remember though.
Oh, is that on
Is it
Fox setting?
India?
I think that was Fox setting on
I
the
don't know.
boxes on the right.
Yeah,
Something
like
like that. I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't really. I mean, it's nice that they fixed it. Yeah, they should have definitely fixed it.
It's a major game-changing fix
Yeah,
for us.
I think it's
and-
going to affect everyone a lot.
I'm
Not at
surprised
all.
EG even knows about that.
Considering they copyright all the videos on YouTube. Right?
DMCA, go! All right, let's see. There's also that those minor changes to the C4 diffusing. It says it will not be so easily canceled while diffusing if you happen to move or another player gets in your way.
I'm
That's
curious. I'm curious, like, if you can still get canceled diffusing if someone just sits on the bomb in front of you. Because I just love trolling people like that. That's one of the fun little things about AVA. So I'm kind of disappointed.
Your black
that,
heart
that
I get
pains me.
so annoyed when people do that. I'm really glad this is, especially when like pubbing.
Yeah,
And
it'll be for pubs mainly.
it's like 6-6, and then I'm defusing, and some jerk like he might not even mean it intentionally. He's like, "Are you defusing?" And he just gets in the way, and then we lose the round. And yeah, this is needed.
Yep.
When you think about it, logic too, another pair of hands gets in there,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you fail. Like that's not right. What are you talking about, game?
And then you also
So
have to
it's a good
consider
thing.
the people who are like nervous and shaking, and they have a nervous twitch, and their mouse just goes flying off the mouse pad while
Yeah.
they're diffusing. Oh, that sucks.
That's true. I've totally kicked my mouse and mouse pad off my desk while diffusing
Wow.
and had it like go off.
Oh my
Happens
god.
to the best of us, man.
Well, obviously. Anyway, so
Wow.
that's a good change. I'm waiting to see. Won't be so easily canceled if you happen to move a little bit. Where can you move? Because I know right now, pretty much for me at least, it seems like as you're where you can always look with your crosshair at the bomb and you can still be diffusing. So are they going to make it so that like you can go slightly off the bomb now and still be diffusing?
You know the circle that pops up when you're diffusing now?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think they're just going to increase that circle. That's what I would think logically.
Hmm.
could be.
Or maybe there'll be like a timeout or something if you go out of the bounds or something. I don't know. But the next number 4 here in the bug fixes, that's like I didn't even know this like occurred, but it makes a lot of sense for a lot of situations like in Gen. So yeah, obviously you may want to talk about that.
If I knew what you were talking about, yes.
The moving up and down stairs fix. Player movement
Oh,
status has been
yes,
changed.
the next one.
Yeah.
Sorry, your mic.
Sorry.
Anyway, yeah, the moving up the stairs fix. It did look like it was falling before if you moved fast. I believe if you like shift walked, it didn't look like you were falling. Correct me on that. Slap me if I'm wrong, but I agree that's good. Just a regular moving to go down the stairs. I still feel like, however, I mean, it might be a different discussion, but I still feel like stairs are the worst places for teleports. Am I wrong? What do you guys?
Corners are the worst.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like if they're on a regular flat inclined corner, yeah, but like stair teleporting, that's like
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's annoying.
I think it's because the animation gets messed up. I think that's it, and they just kind of like teleport ahead because there's like an animation or a frame missing or something. Yeah, but we know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
right. All right. So yeah, and then that next one, there's that thing we talked about that honestly probably should have been under the chat section, but that's all right that they mixed it around. Then they're gonna balance the SPAS 15. Great. It's not even out yet.
The SPAS 15
Congratulations.
is out, but it is out as the Dragon SPAS 15, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, technically yes, it is out.
Okay,
but
well, it is kind of like it's kind of ridiculous.
It's
actually.
ridiculous. It's absurd how powerful that gun is. Like, ugh. It's not right.
Doing Death Valley with 4 SPAS 15s is kind of the easiest thing you can do. So yeah, and just in screwing with it, like it's like on a map like India, it's just stupid. And its rate of fire is kind of fast too. But this is a really good balance fix, and yeah, I'm glad it's coming in before the actual gun gets put out. So yeah.
When the gun comes out, it's gonna be you be able to buy it in euros or
Euros.
so it's gonna be like a regular gun.
Yep.
All right.
Just wait for the striker.
Outstanding.
SooMin, Dahlia, do you guys have anything about that?
Nope, I'm good.
Nope.
All right,
Okay.
well, let's see. So another big one that everybody's been wondering about, that M67, those nade spot nades, those ones where you chuck them way up. It says slightly lose damage. Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Makes no
4.2,
sense.
4.3 meters. Well, we gotta set logic aside here. obviously there's no way that it's gonna start doing less damage because it's traveled a little bit. Like
Yeah,
no.
that's not how grenades work. It's how bullets work, but I mean,
Realism aside, I
Ye-
think this is okay if it's not like 60% of the damage gets nerfed if you throw it at the max distance. I think if it's up to 7 to 13% of the damage is reduced if you throw it and it lands and explodes at the max distance, I think that's okay. But if it's anything more than that, I think it's stupid.
yeah.
Well, it does say slightly, so there is hope.
Slightly
I
could be
like how
like
they don't give us
20%.
numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, we know math. We can do.
Or
Yo,
like-
true though, but sometimes they give you numbers and you have no idea what it means. What is honestly? Take a look at the rate of fire number. What does that mean?
Yeah.
It has no logical connection. It just I'm stymied. If somebody wants to answer that question in the audience, I mean, please.
Yeah. The other big thing here is like it says damage, but does that mean its damage radius is smaller? Does it mean that the damage distribution after X amount of distance in that radius is decreased? Or is the entire area inside, like the actual explosion, decreased and everything is affected like that? Like, is it like, so like when you throw a grenade and it doesn't land exactly where you want it to, but someone's still standing on the left side, like, is it still going to kill them, or is it just going to, like, take off their AP? So that's, I don't know, I'm kind of interested in how it actually changes. Hopefully it's not stupid.
Yeah. It's yeah. When in scrims, it's gonna be kind of interesting because expect like organized teams do set nades, so I mean doing less damage is definitely gonna help the people on attack. And in my opinion, I think defense is always easier, so it's gonna help the attacking team a little bit more. But it also depends on the map. Some maps it's equal for both sides.
All right. Then I guess there's that little last one that slightly nerfed flash on the Mark III A2.
Before we get into this, I just want to say with 7 and 8 here, grenades are like a huge part of AVA, more so than any other game, except for maybe Call of Duty 4. So whenever they mess around with grenades, it is something we should be really concerned about because just a minor change is like can just change the entire dynamic of like scrimming.
Competitive scene.
Yeah, like it's so yeah, it is. We should take this really like very seriously, in my opinion. But yeah,
I
continuing
agree.
on.
So slight warning to IJJI. Balance over here. Watch out when you tool with nades. Do much more testing because your pro scene is gonna notice and see what they like, see what they don't, see what you want to do. But yeah. All right. So yeah. So what about that minor flash? I mean, I never got too flashed by those nades in the first place. So,
Yeah, it really struck me as that cold case is not going to be as annoying to play anymore.
I was about to say that. Oh my god.
Yeah, because like kids only throw grenades in one spot every single time they spawn.
Spawn, nade out, spawn, nade out.
Yeah, so that's gonna make it better. I think it loses some of its usefulness in demo because in demo it's slower and where you want to throw the grenade and have the flash actually be useful, the distances are further away. So like if there's a guy sitting in a corner, you throw a flash. With the MK3A2, you could throw the flash and push the guy, and he'd still be kind of flashed or he'd be lit. But now, by the time you take out your gun, he's not going to be flashed anymore, potentially. So that's a big thing. So if they nerf it down to the other flash grenade that only does a flash, and they nerf it down to only that amount of time, it'll be pretty. Like, what's the point in having the flash? If anything, I think they should increase
Or
it.
just change the name. I mean,
Yeah.
if it doesn't do its job, then call it I
Yeah,
don't know, a breaching nade or something like that.
that's just my opinion on it.
interesting. I never really thought of it that way.
Yeah, you're
I
definitely going to have a guy sitting around the corner waiting to go as soon as you've thrown the flash. So, yeah, I know where Quality used to do it with the other flash grenade, where they'd throw a flash, like they'd chain their flashes, and they'd have two guys go in and two guys flashing, and they were getting pretty good at that, and then they broke up. So, and that was the only team I ever saw actually utilizing those flashes very well. So
Yeah.
that might force teams to do the same thing, but I highly doubt it.
I think that's a lot of work for
Yeah,
most of the teams there.
it definitely is. So what do you guys think of it, SooMin and Dahlia?
Well, I think it's a good thing because the MK3 does, well, the flashlight does damage, so I'd see why they wanna decrease the flash effect. But on the other hand, for the flashlight that's supposed to do flashing, I think they should at least add a little bit more time to that, because honestly, that flashlight, it's not enough.
I agree.
It's pretty useless, eh?
Yeah. Like it's less than 2 seconds.
At the most it's 2.5. Normally
Yeah.
it's 1.8 seconds.
Right. I mean there's no point to carrying it. I mean, unless you time it perfectly, and you have someone like ready to go in, but if you throw it and then get out your weapon and then go in, he's
There's
not
no
going to be
time.
flashed anymore. Like there's no point doing it just for yourself. You'd have to do it with a team of some kind.
I think the only benefit to it is probably to get a nade call out, because if you throw it, normally the enemy will call it, but they won't get flashed. So that's
True.
unfortunate.
So then there's pretty much no reason to use that pure flash over something that's going to slight flash and possibly kill.
Yeah.
Well, using it over smoke, because you will get the nade call out on it, but with the smoke you won't. So if you have 3 people on your team smoking, and you want a third grenade, and you want it to have more of a purpose than just an extra smoke, then you could use it for an extra call out or a grenade call out. But I mean, that's kind of silly that that's its only purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're using a flash grenade to hear sound. Some about that just slaps you in the
I mean, when you can't use it because you throw it, and then by the time you take your gun out, they're not flashed anymore. The effect is worn off. Like,
It's pointless. Yeah.
does that not sound something off? Like, oh, this should probably be fixed.
All
But
right,
if they increase the time, cold case is just going to be that much worse.
well.
So I see where they're going with it.
True, but like, have you ever seen anyone throw the regular flashes in cold case? I've
No,
never.
they throw the ones that kill you
Yeah.
and blind you. So I think, God, that's so. Whatever.
We'll talk about
don't get me
balance later
started.
on these things. So, yeah, let's just move on to the UI changes.
I will
All
be
right.
angry. Right.
We have a couple of UI changes here. The damage display meter, widely considered to have been completely broken, now will be more accurate, which is good because it would be very hard to make it less accurate.
Their descriptions for like how much it's changing is like suspiciously vague. Like it's slightly changed. It's a little bit more accurate. Like it doesn't tell you exactly like what it's gonna be like exactly or anything. I'm sure they have the numbers in front of them. They can tell us. Like, hey, it's gonna be a percentage bar instead of bars or whatever. I mean, I don't know. That's off topic though.
Well, I think it's 20 bars instead of 6 now. Because I think I've seen it in KVA. I think it is 20. It might be 16 or 17 or something around there. But the major thing, 6
All
bars.
numbers indivisible by 6, I will point out.
Yeah.
Why can't they just have he's 13 health or something? Like,
Right?
it's just
Like,
come on.
Why do we? It's the same thing with the ping graphic that we had, and they changed it to numbers.
You shouldn't have to do division in order to see how lit he is.
No, but again, I will point out that some AVA players could stand to learn a little math too. So maybe that's
not our
the avenue they're taking.
I'm also like, why are they even telling us how lit the other person is in the first place? Why do we need that? Like, you know,
That's a good point. Go full on or don't. That's
like if you're going
interesting.
to do it, then give us the exact numbers. If not, if you're just going to go halfway with it, then make sure there's some kind of unique feature that justifies it. But there isn't. It's just, it's it's kind of useless.
Yeah.
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 All right, so that's it for that damage. I think that's that's the most important UI change. It looks like they say that your HUD is renewal. They have the image transparency changed. Great.
For that, it just means it's taking up more of your screen, but it's more transparent.
Right.
It's only when you're tabbing, but
Oh.
yeah, I don't know why, but they just did. So
I figured that was more important than fixing corner lag, I guess.
Dude, come on. There's nothing wrong with their netcode.
Absolutely.
Devilito told me so.
It's definitely not,
No
blatantly
issues.
obvious in Snow's video. Yeah.
Or in any of the videos that were posted, like by 20 people that just posted tons of videos of network lag and everything, But whatever.
It's a game. It's almost game breaking. Like
It is game
they
breaking.
gotta fix that.
The lag is getting worse every day on the servers.
I know.
And it's just
That's one of the reasons why I don't play that much anymore.
Anyways, going back to the real-time battle information is no longer shown.
Steam being vented. Real-time battle information is no longer shown. We
I
had
have no
a
idea.
minor discussion about what that could possibly mean. The only real-time battle information there is on your map when you see your teammates, see their X's, and
It could
see
also
enemies.
be the kill feed too, but it would be stupid to get rid of the kill feed. So
Yeah.
I don't know what they're talking about there.
That's true. I guess that is also real-time battle information. All right. Let's see. Round timer has been moved to a lower position.
Game changing.
Minor cosmetic change.
Yeah.
Character change UI has been moved to the bottom center. Another minor cosmetic change. Dog tag image has been enlarged.
Whoa.
Gonna make Cold Case so much awesome. All right. So much more fun.
I had a lot of time.
With
hard
the
time
increased
finding those
flash.
books, yo. Don't even.
Yeah.
All right.
That's how I keep my kill death up. All right.
HP AP gauge has been enlarged.
I think
Great.
this is
I have
a
more
good
health.
thing. No, I think it's better because you'll be able to more accurately tell how much HP someone has left from a casting perspective or from a team perspective.
Yeah.
Unless they're just like timesing it by like 2 and they're not just actually making it bigger. Sorry, that sounded confusing. But if they just make it bigger, then it'll still go down by the same amount every single time. But
Yeah.
if they like make it so that it's like it fills more whatever you want to call HP or HP, then it'll be more accurate and precise. Which I don't think they're doing, but they could be doing. I'm not sure. But either way, it's nice, I suppose.
Yeah. I that's one of the cosmetic changes that is rather useful. Let's see. As we talked about before, the C4 timer has been added, and then this last one, perhaps one of the murkiest of all the changes. Spawn points will now show up more visually. What?
What? I don't know what this is either. Like,
I don't know what that is. I was reading that just now. I was like, what?
Do we not know where the other person spawns?
Yeah.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't
More
know
visually, like, are we seeing it less visually now? Are we? I don't know. Got nothing on this one.
This is a good transition into ending this, but like, I'm happy that we're getting changes. Kind of disappointed that they're so late, but we're at least getting them. Hopefully they're useful and have a purpose instead of them just being changes because they can change things. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on this entire overall this update, first person spectate, a couple of the other changes, then everything else I really like everything else should have been out sooner. Happy it's coming out now, but kind of hurt the game already.
Yeah, I think the two biggest are first person, just because I think that's pretty cool, and the demo time being reduced. I think that's pretty significant. Also the grenade slots. Those are the
Yeah.
three biggest for me, I think.
I think for me, chat changes. That other stuff, you're right, great for competitive scene, and I can't wait for that. But chat.
Actually,
All right,
the
well,
suicide deaths and infection fix, I think that one's really good. We didn't talk about that, but I think we
Yeah,
should
that's
have.
pretty mighty.
We needed to address that issue because it's affecting a lot of good teams, and never mind.
Dahlia, what do you think about this update overall? What are your top 3 things you're excited for?
I really only have top 2, which is the first person and sprint key. And if I had to choose a third, I'd go with the backpacks.
Okay. And we didn't talk about the content stuff. We're getting the PGM. I mean, it's just as good as the FR in some regards. But we really don't really care about the content because, yeah. Unless you guys care about the content. Is there anything in there that you guys care about? The content update?
Not particularly.
all right, well,
Wasn't there
think
supposed to be like a ping limit or something?
It's supposed to come out in October or something. So that'll be for next time.
Hold on, wasn't there like some headgear, like
Oh, there's that
watermelon or
watermelon
something?
thing. Yeah, because they're doing an
I'm
event.
really excited about that.
Actually, I do have to commend them on the event because you get 3,000 euros per day, apparently. And
Wait, for
that's
doing what?
if you play an hour a day, you get 3,000 euros. And it's for
Oh
like,
shit,
I don't know, it's like for like a 20-day event period or something. It's really good, and
that's
it's like the first
significant.
real good event that we've gotten in a long time.
Yeah.
So, pretty happy about that. Yeah. So that's pretty much all we have to say. This we're probably going to try to make this a regular thing. On Thursdays, we may have different people, new people. Hopefully, we have the same people because Pyro, Dahlia, and
Hello.
SooMin are pretty excellent. Have some pretty excellent insight on these AVA patches. We won't always focus on AVA patches. We'll focus on stuff that's going on in the community, upcoming stuff, stuff like that. So, thanks for listening to the first podcast, CGO podcast thing. We really don't have a name for it right now. You guys have any last shoutouts?
Nope.
Dahlia?
Yeah, shout out to Aim Hard, and hopefully this first person spectate will, clear his name.
Hopefully. Okay, well that's it. Thanks to EG for sponsoring the CGO demo tournaments. And hopefully AVA continues to grow.
Yeah, we need a bigger community. Tell your friends.
Make sure you watch the stream this coming weekend.